guys, it's Katie here again from Bella Creativa, and I am going to do another page in the 2-page landscape Essentia mini album that I've been working on. So I am using these Essentia SVG files for electronic cutting machines. I use a Cricut, but you can also use them on Silhouettes and Brother Scan and Cuts. And we are, up to the 4th page. So it's a 2-page album, so we've done the front of the first page, the back of the first page, the front of the second page, and we are going to do this side today. So I have already cut some bits and pieces out, and I was also going to show you what paper I'm using, and it's stashed under this pile of stuff beside me. So I'm using this paper pack from Kaisercraft called Grand Bazaar, and I really like it, but it's like it's only a mini pack. I think there's only 12 sheets in there, and I'm quickly running out, so I've had to stick a few more bits of sort of basic colours and plain sheets in there. I've also been using this bit of copper foil paper, which I just bought from Kmart if you're in Australia. And then for the black cardstock, I'm using this Recollections 65 pound 176 GSM cardstock. So that's what I'm using today. And I have already cut some pieces out. I'm going to put this to the side and I'll show you what I've cut out. So I've got a little stash of things here. So we'll just go through them and I'll try and remember what I've cut out. So the Essentia is a set of SVG files where you can make a 2-page, a 4-page or a 6-page album. It comes with everything you need to make those albums, from the cover and binding, pages, flips, pockets, envelope flips, accordion envelopes, everything's in here. And the files themselves look like this. I've done screenshots and put them into the booklet, and if you purchase these files, which you can from my Etsy store, and I'll put the link in the description box, you'll also get a PDF which will have a copy of all of these screenshots as well, so it will make it easy for you to refer to. And I have given everything an alphanumeric number, so it's easy for me to tell you which pieces I've used. So the blue bits themselves are the elements, and then the pink pieces that are sitting on top are the mats that go with that. So for example, this is the 2-page binding for a portrait album. So D1 is the binding, and it says pink mat D3. So these little pieces here are D3. So we've got binding for 2 pages, 4 pages and 6 pages in portrait and landscape. We have the cover and spine, base pages, long pockets, short pockets, narrow pockets, wide pockets, belly bands, waterfalls, corner pockets, envelope flips and accordion envelopes. So you can do so much with just these pieces, depends how you use them. Okay, so I'll show you what I've cut out after all of that blabbing. I have started by cutting out my M3 mat. So we already have the base page, we've already put that together, so that's the base page there. So I've just cut out the mat out of my scrapbook paper. So this is my M3 mat. It's my Cricut's cut it out for me to size, and I've just put a little bit of inking around the edges. So that's my M3 mat, which is here. And then I have cut out this P1 piece here. That's this one here, P1. And my Cricut has already put the score lines on it for me, so it's measured to fit. It depends which way you make an album, whether you use it this way or this way, whether you want to use it as a pocket or a flip or whatever you like. So one P1, and then I've cut out 2 P2 mats. So the P2 mats are the mats that are sitting on top. So I've cut those out. And I'll just put those together. Then I have cut out some R pieces here. I've cut out 2 of the R2s, so that's these 2 here. There's 2 of them, yes, 2 R2s, and I have also cut out 2 of the R4 mats that go on those, so that's those 2 there. Oh, I forgot, I'm using Quatrefoil pockets. Just a second, let me grab those. There we go. Completely forgot. I'm also using the add-on window pockets in the Quatrefoil for this album, and that's what these here look like. So they are exactly the same pockets as in the Essentia, so you do not need these, but they're just you know, if you feel like making an album with some cool window pockets, then you can cut these, you can get these, and you can also get these from my Etsy store. So then I have cut out an S1 pocket. So that's this long one here, S1 in the Quatrefoil, and that's this one here, and the mat for that I've cut out of transparency, and that mat is S4. So the S1 in the Quatrefoil is also exactly the same as the S1 in the Essentia. It's just that this one is a Quatrefoil pocket. So you could make this album that we're making without these pockets. You could use these ones instead, and they're numbered the same and everything like that. So one S1 in the Quatrefoil and one S4 matte out of transparency. That's those ones there. Then I have cut out some of the S3s. So out of S3s, I've cut a normal one out of here. So that's an S3 here. And then I have also cut one of the S3s out of the Quatrefoil. That's those 2 there. And for their mats, I've cut one out of transparency, and that's an S6, and then one out of the paper, which is also an S6. That's those ones there. Then what have we got? These are S2s. So I've cut 2 of these S2s out of the Quatrefoil pockets there. And for their mats, which are the S5, I've cut 2 out of the foil. Sorry about that glare. So that's those 2 there. And then I have cut out one W6 out of the Quatrefoil, so that's that corner pocket. And I've cut the W12 transparency mat for that one there. So there's the pocket, and here's the transparency mat for that one. And then lastly, out of the window flips, I've cut one X3 out of the Quatrefoil, so that's this little guy here. And then I've also cut an X3, which is exactly the same, out of the Essentia files here, so that X3. So they're exactly the same, one's a Quatrefoil, one's not. And then I've cut 2 of the pink mats, which are X7, one out of foil and one out of normal paper. So that's everything that I've cut out. So I'll put all of this to the side and put this away, and I will try and remember what I was planning on doing. Okay, let's bring all this back. I'll get my mat, which I've already dropped on the floor, because I tend to make a bit of a gluey mess. So, okay, we really don't have enough room, and I just need to take a sip of my drink for a minute. As soon as I start talking, I get a croaky throat. Okay, so let's just put these pieces to the side while I try and remember what my plan was. So, the thing to remember when you're using the window pockets is that if you're putting them on a base page, you need to put them on the base page before you put the mats on, so that you can hide the tabs, because otherwise you can see the tabs when you fold them in. So that's just one trick to remember. Okay, so let's start off by, this has got tabs all the way around it, so that we could use it for anything that we wanted to. But in this instance, I'm going to use it as a flip. So I'm going to cut off these 2 long tabs here and this slightly shorter tab here and flip it from this side. So I'm going to cut those 3 tabs off that one. Then I think I can't quite remember what my plan was. Let's see. It's opening from, let's have a look. It's opening from this side, and I was going to have this as a flip. I can't remember if I wanted it to come from that side or this side. It doesn't really matter. But then I was going to use this one as well as a flip. I think I'm going to flip them from this side, so they'll flip back the ways like that. I think that might be the way to go. Okay, so for these two are 2 pieces. One, we definitely need the long side because we're going to use it as the flip, and we can cut these 2 off. And I can leave this one on because we can just fold in and glue it. And then this one is going to stick onto here, so we need to keep all of those. Okay, so we just need to cut those 2 short tabs off that one. We don't need to cut anything off that guy, so that's good. Let's start with that, shall we? I know there's more things to cut off, but I can't always remember. So we'll just do it as we go. Right, so off this P1 we're going to cut off 3 tabs. So I'm just lining up that score line that my Cricut has made for me. And I'm just going to cut that off and throw it out. So these tabs are really helpful if you want to use a piece in a different way. It gives you a lot of versatility with these tabs, and it's easy enough just to trim them off, like so. Oh, I really am croaky today. Starting to cool down over here here in Australia. Starting to get some nice autumn stuff. I'll just take another sip, sorry. Okay, so we have that one flip there. And this guy we just need to cut the long tabs off, the short tabs. So let's do that. Like so. Right, and I'll just put that to the side. I know I've got more tabs to cut off, but we'll just work on those as we go. So I'm just going to fold these guys in and burnish them down so I can find my bone folder. Thought I had everything prepared, but you always forget something. Here we go. And then this side too. So I was in the practice of cutting off all of the tabs that I don't use, but then someone kindly pointed out to me that if I left them on but glued them down, it would actually make pockets stronger. So this is going to be a pocket opening. If I leave my little tab there and just fold it down, it'll actually make it stronger. And the other thing that I meant to get was a clean wipe for my gluey mess. So let me just grab one of these. I just buy these chucks on a roll, and once I've used it and it's no good to me anymore, I just throw it out and grab another one, and they're cheap. So instead of cutting these off now, I can just fold them down, and that will make that pocket I'm using as a pocket stronger. So then this one here, I'm going to do the same with one of these long edges, so let's do that. See, this is the same piece, these are both R2 pieces. And I have been trying to remember to write down in the comments section underneath. I've been trying to remember to write down a list of all the pieces that I use to make each of these pages, just so you know you don't have to try and remember what I cut out if you wanted to make this same page. It's just all there in the description box, that's what it is, the description box down below. And there's also a link there to the Facebook group. So there's a Facebook group we have where people can ask questions, and they, you know, you can see what other people have been making, or you can upload your albums that you've been making using these SVG files. So feel free to come over and join. It's called Bella Creativa Divas, and there's a link in the description box. Okay, so then I'm going to attach one of these to one of these. So this is going to be the bit where we stick to the page. It's going to be our flip. Let's turn that over, and then these three here, we'll fold these three tabs down and glue those. Like so. And then I'm going to attach it to this piece here. Okay. I'll do my best to line it up before my glue grabs it. And my hands, I feel like I'm all fingers and thumbs today. I think we're attached. Give it a good burnish. Like so. How's that? It's not bad. It's not great. I didn't line up very well here. My hands are so dry from all this hand washing, and once the weather gets cold and you're hand washing, it's I don't know, it's just hard to get a grip on anything. Okay, so there's our pocket, and it's got that extra strength because we just folded those tabs in rather than cutting them off, so that's really good. Okay, so that's that guy, and then we're going to attach him to this one, I think. I'm trying to remember, what's my plan? Yes, so let's fold this one in, this tab down, and burnish that. Right, so I'm going to fold from this side, and then I was going to attach this one on top like this. So let's just do that before I change my mind. I think this is my plan. Let's pop that down on there. Line it up, burnish it down, wipe the gluey mess off, burnish that down, wipe the glue off. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, then, what was my plan then? I think I was planning on using this guy here, S3, as a pocket. I'm trying to remember. I only cut these pieces out yesterday. You wouldn't think I'd already forgotten. Let's fold all of these in while I try and remember what I was planning on doing. There we go. I usually draw myself a sort of a little diagram of what my plan was, but I think yesterday I was thinking, oh no, I'll be fine, I'll remember. Huh. Okay, so I think this is going to be a pocket on top like this. Like this. And mine have had to flip the one on top of it as well. Right? So if that was the case, yep, that's right. So if that's the case, let's start by gluing down this flap here, which is going to be the pocket opening, because we don't need that. But glue that down. Way too much glue. Okay, so then our pocket is going to open from there, from the top like so, and then I was thinking we would attach this, but we'll actually attach it to the page just underneath like that, so it will flip open and we can put things in there. That's what it's going to do. So we can put that mat on here straight away. So this was the mat that I was going to use for that one. I'm going to use this other glue for the mats. So this is Crafters, just called Crafter's Choice Craft Glue, available in Australia just from Spotlight. And this one here that I'm using in this little container is Helmar's Tiger Grip, which is also easily available from Spotlight in Australia, but you use whatever glue you like to use. I use this one for my mats because it's cheaper. I'm not necessarily as strong as the Tiger Grip glue, and it just gives you a little bit more wiggle time if you're laying down a mat, you know, because sometimes, you know, you put it down and then you have to kind of wiggle it around a little bit like I am right now to get it somewhat centered. Okay. It's also good because it, when it oozes out the side, which it always does for me, you can just sort of wipe it away. Okay, so that's our pocket, and we're going to put it on top of this one here. So I need the mat for that one. Where are my mats for that? I had them nearby. Here they are. Now, I was just going to go with this plain one under here. So let's do that. This is my R4 mat, and it's going on my R2 piece. And the wonderful thing about these SVG files is no cutting, no scoring, and no measuring. You know, apart from measuring, I like to find the centre of things sometimes, so I will do that. And cutting, I will cut some tabs off, but I can't remember the last time I had my scoreboard out since using these SVG files. I love them, but I might be biased. Okay, got some glue stuck under my fingernail. Right, so then this is going to go on top here. So let's just do that. Like so. And across here. And then this is just going to go down on here like this. Cute. Oops. Whoa, that was a bit of a wobble. Okay, that'll do. Back down there. Okay, then I was going to have this little envelope flip come up from here. Oh, I didn't think about magnets and things. Oh well. Okay, so let's get out these pieces for the envelope flip. So this is the X3 envelope flip, one in the Quatrefoil and one in from the Essentia, and then the mats for those. So all I'm going to do is attach this mat to here. So I'll just get out my glue and just run around the edge. Actually, I've got a little better, this little guy here I find much better for doing this. I just have to hope that it unblocks itself. Yeah, and I just run a little bead of glue around the edge here. And here. And across here. And you know, however much glue you want to put in here, just to hold that bit of foil paper in place. And then I'm just going to attach this one onto there, like so. And then I'm going to attach this one onto here, but before I do that, I'll just get that glue blob off. I might have just made that worse. I'll just put that to the side. So I'm going to attach this one to this one so we don't see that on the back. But I don't want the tab on both of these because it will make it far too bulky. So I'm going to cut this tab off. So we'll get out my little cutting tool and just line up on that score line. Think. Okay, so just cut that little tab off. I've got glues all over the place. I must remember to put the lid on this one. I'm not using it because it does dry up super quickly. There we go. Okay, so then I'm just going to attach this guy to this guy. Actually, I probably should have cut just a little sliver off it a little bit more so that it doesn't get caught up in this fold. So I will just bring it back and I'll line it up with that little score line, and then I'm just going to bring it over just a little smidge more. Just like I've cut a millimetre off there. Hopefully that means that when I stick these two together they'll be fine. So let's do that. I'm going to attach this one. Let's put some glue on here. Whoop. And attach it down. Now if I wanted to put a magnet on here, I should do it now, but I think sitting on the page this will be fine. It's not going to go anywhere. I don't think it needs a magnet. I've become really loath to use the few magnets that I have. So I'm just making sure that's lined up. Looks pretty good. Okay, and then I'm just going to put this mat on top of here so that it looks nice when I open it. That's some glue on there already. Okay. Pop that one on here. See, just little shapes like this. I was really bad at cutting by hand. They'd always be a little bit off on one side, and you know, so then you trim a little bit off this side and it's not right, so you trim a little bit more, and then it wasn't right, it still wasn't right, so you trim a little bit off this side, and you know that. And then you've got this tiny little bit of paper left and you're utterly frustrated. That bit of glue there's really bugging me. Okay, so all I'm going to do is put a bit of glue on the back of that tab and then slide it in here, like so. I think that's my plan. I'm trying. Let's get it in here, a bit of glue stuck there. I'm just going to slide it in here, like that. Then you can just tuck things in and fold it over, and that looks cute. I think that was my plan. It is now. I'll use this glue. Usually I would have a lower pocket on there as well, so that's why I'm wondering, was that my plan? I'm just going to slide that in there. And I'll make sure it's lined up and then press it down. Okay, so then we have this little envelope on the page, and open it up and slip things in there, so that's kind of cute. Right, so that's what I had planned for that side. So what do we have planned for this side of there? Well, I've got this mat, and I think I was going to use this guy as, yeah, that looks right. I was going to use this as a pocket down the bottom on this side, and I think I had a transparency for that, yes. So we need to cut this tab off here, because even if we folded it down, you'd still be able to see it through the window. But we keep the other three. So let's trim this one off, and if I can find my pencil, I'm just going to put a cross on here to remind me, because by the time I get it to the cutting board, I forget and go a little crazy and cut too many pieces off. So this is an S3, I believe. It's exactly the same as the one we've used on this side. This one we've laid this way, and this one we're going to lay this way. So just line that up there and there. Throw that away. Then I'll fold my little scored tabs in. this is where we have to put our pocket on our page first and then slip the page mat in underneath so that it covers up these tabs, because obviously you can see those tabs there. So that's just a little bit different from how I would normally make an album, where I could just put the mat on top and then I could put any pockets on top of that. Okay, so now I'm going to put the transparency on here. So I'll get out this glue again and do exactly the same thing along here. Down the sides, across here. Trying to keep it close to the edge, but I'm not sure that I did a great job of that. And then I'll just dot a bit of glue around in these spots. Yeah, and then I'm just going to take my transparency. So this is actually a laminating pouch that I've just run through the laminator. It's a bit stronger than acetate, but it's also all I had. So I also have found that, at least for me, these laminated sheets, the little pouches, cheaper than buying acetate. So I'm happy to use them. Now I was also thinking this might be really cool. What if you scattered some glitter inside the laminator pouch and then ran it through the laminator, and then you have little glittery bits? I might have to try that. Maybe we'll do that for the next album. Might be worth thinking about. Okay, so my glue just needs to dry and hold that transparency in. And I'll just wipe off these bits that have come out. Okay, and then we can attach it to the page. So this is our little envelope here, and flip it over, and we're going to have this pocket on here, like so. What I might do is just give it a minute to dry before I do that, because I can see it sort of, I want to really burnish that down. And then I want to also burnish these edges down a bit more again. They seem to be sticking up a bit. Okay, and then this bit here as well. Just want to really carefully burnish that down. I might just leave this to the side to dry, because this glue has a habit of making it buckle a little bit until it's really dry. So what I might do is stick this under something heavy, like my phone. I'll just put this up here, put my phone on top of it. And let's have a look at these other pieces in the meantime. So these guys here are their little S2 pockets and their little foil mats. So I also want to put these underneath there in exactly the same way, like that. And they're going to be pockets. Well, let's just start by putting the foil on them. So I leave them like this and put the glue around the edges. So we're just doing exactly the same thing again, but this time instead of using acetate, I'm using foil. Like so. I think these look smashing, these pockets, especially with this black cardstock. Really like them. Looking forward to using some of the other window pockets as well. Okay, put my lid on. Try and put my lid on. Okay, and then just turn that over and put it down. Slide that over. I've done a fabulous job of getting that glue in all the right spots, but Never mind. Okay. Alright, let's put those to the side to dry. And let's have a look at these ones. So this is the big S1 pocket, and I think this is going to go on the bottom of the base page. Let's have a look. I'll just bring it out, see if I can remember. Oh no, I know where it's going. No, on the base page we're just going to use, let me put that to the side. On the base page I think we're just going to have this corner pocket, and yep, so we need to attach that acetate to there. And this one is going to go on this one. So we've got this flip here, and then when we open it up, I'm going to put the two little pockets there, and when we open this up, it's going to have this pocket on the bottom, I believe. Let's have a look. Yep, fits perfectly. So that S1 is going to go on there. So I need to cut the top off that one and attach the transparency to that. So let's do that. I'm just lining up that score line. Hold it down. Trim off that tab. And now you are a long pocket. And I'll just turn those in. We'll just get all our pockets prepared, and then we can just stick it all on. And this one. It feels like it's been a while since I've recorded. If you don't record consistently all the time, then you really get out of the habit of it really quickly. And then when you do record again, you feel like you can't remember what you're doing. At least that's the case for me. So I feel I'm a little bit, what do I do now? Okay, so let's stick some glue on here. I'm trying to get close to the edge so that transparency picks it up, but I'm not always that great at it. Down the side, on the bottom. So anyway, I hope everyone's well. Been some strange times in the world lately with the coronavirus. Our restrictions are going to be lifted, some of them very soon, which is pretty exciting. We've been really lucky here in Australia. I think for once our isolation from the rest of the world has actually been a benefit for us in being able to contain the virus a little bit more. But we have been much like the rest of the world still, and been asked to stay home. Okay, so that's that transparency on there. It's really, I know that it's really hit hard in a lot of countries, and it's really terrible to see. And it's also really amazing to me how one virus can essentially shut down the world. And economies, everyone's economies are going to be suffering so terribly for so long after this. And personally, for people whose businesses have had to close and who've lost their jobs, and you know, it's just going to take so long for the world to recover. But, you know, I think it's been really nice to see some other things that have come out of it that have been good. I think it would be really great if I did a terrible job of folding that on the crease. Where is that crease? I think it's a really good opportunity for companies to look more the idea of people working from home, because you know, you spend such an inordinate amount of time commuting when you know, a lot of people could work from home, and what that would save on the environment from that less pollution. I've done such a terrible job of that. It's just a fold. Let's stick this on before I make it any worse. Okay, oh, which side did I want to put this on? Oh, this side. Anyway, that's enough of my personal opinion about things. We just want to craft. And it's all we hear about every day, so I probably shouldn't contribute to it. So my apologies. I hope you fast forward through all of that, and we can just, you know, do crafty things. Okay, so here's my transparency for my corner pocket, which I think was W6 or something like that. Yep, W6. Got glue stuck to my finger. Okay, let's put that one aside and put my glue away, put my lid back on the glue. Right, and then let's come back to here. Okay, so we were going to put that little pocket that I stuck under my phone on the bottom here, like so. So let's do that. So just putting some glue on those 3 tabs, and then it's going to line that up with the bottom. I want to bring it right, make sure it's right over this way so it doesn't interfere with this fold just here. Make sure it folds over okay, no problem. Bring it back and make sure it sticks down. Okay, so then the job is to try and get the mat for here slid underneath that pocket, like, but over those tabs with some glue on. So I think I might run my bone folder under here, like so. There's glue and stuff on here, if you can see that. It comes off easily. And some glue on my mat. And then attempt to slide it in here. Look here, no. In between, come on. In there and in there, that's it. No, now I've got this wrong, this side wrong, come on. Oh dear, there we go. Right, slide it down. Lovely. And then line it up. This is why you need glue, that gives you a little bit of wiggle time. Like so, and push it down. There. So now we can't see those tabs at all. Doesn't that look sweet? Sweet. Alright. So that's that little flappy bit done. Then we can do this side. So on this side, my plan was to put my mat down, and then I was going to use these little guys as pockets on here that would, you'd still be able to see when this was closed. That's my idea. So I think we can just put this mat down because these are going on top. So let's do that. So this is my P2 mat, which is going on my P1 piece. And here. to the side for a minute. These ones here, I'm going to poke out, or use this side as a pocket. So just fold this tab over, burnish it down, and then I'm just going to put some glue on there to make that our pocket. Glue that down. With my rag. Okay. Put the glue off there. And then fold these 3 in. One, two, and my third one. So, right, so that's going to open from this side here. And we'll do the same with this one. So this short side is going to be our opening. And so I will just fold that tab over and then glue it down. Just wipe that glue off that's coming out. And then fold over my tabs. One, two, and the last one, 3. Okay, so let's bring this bit out here and close that up. So I want it to look like that, and then I wanted to use these guys as little pockets that you can see on this page, like so. But when you open out, you still have a little spot here where you could put a photo or something like that. So these guys here, I think I want to space them out about like so. So let me get my ruler. Where did I put my ruler? Here it is. I saw it somewhere. And I'm just going to flip this round so I can sort of see it a bit better here. Let's have a look. If I find this center point here, so this is 18 centimeters. Sorry guys, I work in centimeters, but all I'm ever doing is finding the center. So you can use inches if that's what you prefer to do. So the center is 9 centimeters. So if I line that up on the half at 8.5, and if I line it up here on 9.5, then that looks good. So let's put a little mark there at 8.5 and at 9.5. And I'll line my pockets up along there like so, and they'll open up from this side. That's what's going to happen. Cute. Okay, so some glue on my tabs. 1, 2, 3. It's going to come pouring out the edges there. See if I can spread it out a bit. Just with the edge of my nozzle. Whoops! Okay. And then I'm just going to line it up right on that edge of my mat, like so. Like that, and burnish it down like that, and across here. So then we can have some little tabs poking out the ways, which I think will look really cute. And I should probably just trim that little bit of that tab off. So we'll just poke it up. Start doing the same thing on this side. Maybe a little bit just here. Just a little bit of that tab poking out. Okay, and then a bit of glue on these tabs. Oops. Oh, my glue's all chunky there. Oh, I put some PVA glue in here as well, mixed it up the other day. And yuck, it looks horrible. I won't do that again. Just spread it out a bit. It looks really lumpy. It'll be fine. But okay, so I'm just lining up on the side of my mat and where I've put that little mark so that they are evenly spread out. Like so. Wipe that glue off. Ah, glue everywhere. Burnish it down. So this mat here, this sort of mustard colour, it was just one that I had to add in because I'm running out of the really fancy Kaisercraft Grand Bazaar paper. So then if I find my razor, I'm just going to rub those little marks off there, like that, and just wipe up that little glue there, like that, and that's our page. So you could put, I mean, you could put another pocket there if you wanted to. You could have one of these pockets this way, much like this one here. You could, but this way, when we open it up, we'll have little tags sticking out of here and here. We've got a little pocket here. This here is a pocket as well, so we'll have something sticking out of there. And then when we open up, we have a pocket here as well. And let's not forget that we've got the back of this side as well to go as the actual page in our album. So this is the back of the P1. And I was just going to put this mat down and this long pocket down. So of course we have to put this long pocket down first. So I'm just going to open that up. We have to put this down first so we can cover our tabs up. I just need to burnish this a little bit more, like so. So, you know, the great thing about these SVG files, oh I know I keep banging on about it, don't I? But you know, you can make a really fancy album with lots of flips and flaps and pockets and hidey holes, or you can make something really basic. It's completely up to you. You just, you know, just play around with the pieces and make any, there's so many different what's the word I'm looking for? Configurations that you can make just using all of these different pieces. So, you know, I'm just showing you some examples of what you can make, but you can, there's so much you can do. You can make your own designs up the way you'd like to. Right, and then just going to put some glue on this mat, this P2 mat. One of my tips is to write down what number or what label the piece is on the piece itself, so that if it gets mixed up with anything, you can easily tell what it is. So I'm just going to slide that in there. Again, tricky getting in there. Slide it down. Sometimes it gets a bit stuck on that lower tab. I'm just going to try and lift it up with my bone folder. Slide it in. There we go. Then get the glue off my fingers. Slide it down. Line it up. Push it down. Doesn't that look nice and finished? I think it looks lovely. Apart from the glue that I'm leaving everywhere, but that'll come off. Okay, like it a lot. Right, so that's our that's the bit that we're actually going to put on the page, which we haven't done yet. So let's get our album. Last page. And it is going to go on this page here. Make some room. Right, so we're going to put this guy down on this page here. So it's all ready to go. I'm just going to line it up with that crease line here. So there's a crease line on that page. We're not sticking it right flat against the spine, but along this crease line. So I'll just get some glue on this tab here. Like so, and pop it down. Try and line it up. It's got a bit of a wobble. Got glue coming out everywhere. Well, you know, it would not be it would not be me making it if it didn't have glue everywhere. Let's wipe that up. And then flip it open. And give it a really good burnish. Make sure it's stuck on there. Looks good. Okay, you didn't move, you're still there in the right spot. Looks like it. Okay, so then we're going to flip this guy this way, and then this one flips this way, and then on here, this is going to have this this corner pocket that I've done a really bad job of folding, burnishing. Let's try it again. Oh, that's right. Now I've got glue all over my bone folder, so it's just going to make it look worse. It's got dry glue over everything. It's alright. It'll be okay. I can wipe it off. But right now, I'm just going to put this guy in the corner, and I want to be careful that it's not right budged up against there so that it still closes okay. So let's do that. Might have actually been smarter to put it on this side so that there was less bulk here. But, you know, didn't think of that, did I? Never mind. Okay, so we can put this in here. Just going to line it up on the edge of the page. Stick it down. I've left a little bit of a gap there to make sure that it folds over okay. But before we can't move it, let's just make sure it does. Yep, no problem. Okay, and then I'll just burnish it down with all of my gluey bits on my bone folder. I'm not happy with that, so I've got to get all this glue off. Then we can just put in our base page mat, and we're done. So we just need to slide this guy in here. And make sure it gets in there okay. Yeah, that's good. Line it up. I cannot see the top of it very well, so just bear with me. I think that'll be fine. Push it down. Lovely. And that's our last page. Lots of little flips there. So we've got, I haven't done flips from the top and the bottom. You absolutely can, but I thought maybe it might be a bit unwieldy with a landscape album, which is so it's quite wide this way, to then also make it quite wide this way. But you know, it might have been fine. It's just the decision I made, and of course you can add whatever flips coming out this way and this way, out this way, any way you like. That's the beauty of the whole thing, is you can make it any way you like. But here's the page that I've made. So we've got a little envelope. We have a pocket here. Oh, I can't get into it. We have a pocket here. We have our two little pockets here. And then we flip open, we've got another pocket here. Space there. Pocket here, and of course there is the pocket in the page itself. So that's our last page done. So next time we come back, I would like to do the inside front cover and the inside back cover, probably nothing too fancy, and then we'll do some inserts, and that'll be it. So thanks very much for joining me today. We've done 4 pages in, or you know, the back and front of our 2-page landscape Essentia album. I use these quatrefoil pockets, and I also use the Essentia SVG files. Please feel free to check them out in my Etsy store. Description in the links in the description box below. I'd love it if you guys hung around and watched the rest of the series. Press subscribe so that YouTube will notify you of any more videos that are coming along. Otherwise, I will look forward to seeing you guys again. Thanks for joining me, and bye.